You know, for the first week of this game being released, I did a good job avoiding it, just kept playing Siege and pretending it didn't exist. Then my friends convinced me to play it for one night, and now I haven't touched anything else for 4 days straight. Come to think of it, I haven't even touched myself in that time. New record. Hey YouTube, it's me, Shmolty, the guy that made the Battle Royale is boring video and then proceeded to get addicted to Fortnite for 3 months straight. And now I'm making this video, and you're watching it, waiting for me to get to the point. Hang on a little longer, Wraith mains, we're getting there.
Dude, you're so bad. Why did you take Wraith? Literally level 50 with 15 kills.
Apex Legends is the newest Battle Royale storm to encircle the gaming community and finally dethrone Fortnite like everyone was waiting for. Even the die-hard Fortnite players that have over 2,000 hours have proceeded to shit on the game in favor of Apex within a week of it launching, so either gamers are toxic or the biggest game of last year was secretly bad. Go figure. Anyway, all the cool kids and degenerates alike are hooked on Apex now, but it's better that they're addicted to a video game that melts away their time than a needle in their arm that melts away their internal organs. And because I'm so fucking family friendly, I'm going to do my part in the anti-drug movement and fuel the virtual fire. First things first, Apex is a team game, or a squad game. Unless you're Shroud, you'll have an incredibly difficult time taking on full squads on your own, especially with how bullet spongy this game can be when people have good gear. There's a reason one person is chosen as the jump master and leads their team every match. You'd be wise to stick with your mates even if they are potatoes. At the very least, they can be meat shields while you dish out damage. And don't leave your squad behind and bum rush a full team on your own. That's just a great way to get yourself killed and leave your teammates at a disadvantage. You're not a god that can regularly squad wipe on your own, otherwise you wouldn't be watching a sloth tell you how to play. Now on to the legends themselves.
Murder. Straight out the insane asylum, what the fuck am I? Just think about it, can't define it. Say goodbye to any nigga you was vibing with, I fucking hate to climb it.
Wraith. Just play Wraith. I mean, why would you play anyone else when you have a get out of jail free card like disappearing into the void and avoiding all damage to make a quick escape, alongside the smallest hitbox in the game? Before I really knew anything about this game, I still knew that Wraith was the best. Her ultimate ability is to create portals for you and your teammates to jump between, either to flank the enemy or make a quick escape, and she whispers sweet nothings in your ear when an enemy is aiming at you. Wraith is also currently the only legend in the game with a dope-ass CSGO knife that you can get from Apex crates, but the chances of you actually getting it without spending money are about as high as the chances of Battlefield's Firestorm mode actually being relevant when it finally releases. In case you don't get the first pick in your squad and Wraith is inevitably taken from you, pretty much all of the other legends are useful and fun in their own way. However, if I had to pick a second best, it would probably be Lifeline. Alongside having a funny accent,
I'm ready for a match.
Lifeline serves as the game's healer class, with faster revive times covered by a shield and a Healy robot thing that pumps feel-good juice into you and your teammates if you're low on HP. She can also heal herself a bit faster than the other legends, because why not? And lastly, her ultimate ability calls in a care package for some extra goodies, but be aware that if any players see it, they will find you and they will eat you alive. If you're trying to sweat it up with 2 of your friends and get some chicken dinners, I'd say Lifeline is almost essential to the squad because of her revive alone. Next up we have Banglador. Bangahor. Next up we have Banana Drawer, whose main use is her 2 smoke clusters that she can launch at the press of a button for some quick cover. Just keep in mind that this can be countered by or coupled with Bloodhound's ultimate, which allows him to see enemies through smoke, as well as digital threat sights, which do the same. Bangalore's passive ability is turning into Usain Bolt when an enemy is shooting at you, allowing you to get to cover more quickly. And her ultimate is a barrage of missiles that cover a large area and take a few seconds to explode once in the ground, so it's mostly useful for denying a push or pressuring a team with squad mates already knocked down. Bloodhound is Apex's recon unit and can see tracks and recent activities of enemy players. His ability is a visible circular scan that quickly spots the current position of any sneaky beaky enemies nearby. If you pop Bloodhound's ultimate, he goes sicko mode, or as the developers incorrectly named it, beast mode. This increases your movement speed slightly and highlights players with a red outline through smoke, but not through walls. Maui the Demigod has a shield that he can throw down that neither you or your teammates can shoot through, as well as a shield on himself while aiming that's basically garbage and will be destroyed instantly. His ultimate is a damage-dealing barrage of air blasts that cover a pretty wide area and can put massive pressure on an enemy squad. He's basically the tank. What else can I say? Except, you're welcome. Pathfinder has a grappling hook that he can use. Wait. Is it a he? I know that Maui is gay and Bloodhound is like gender fluid or some shit, but do robots have genders? I mean, he kind of sounds like a guy, but it's not like he has a penis, right? Oh god. Right? Anyway, it has grappling hooks that you can use to get up to high places and swing around the map like a madman, and it can also deploy zipline so you can bring your teammates with you across the map or on top of high places. On top of that, there are several survey beacons throughout the map that Pathfinder can scan to reveal the next circle's location on the map for you and your teammates. Mirage has decoys, or bamboozles as he calls them, which sprint in whatever direction you ping them, but aren't quite smart enough to climb over walls, so keep that in mind. You can also send 2 decoys out when you're dropping into the map to create the illusion of more players. If you get down with Mirage, when you get down with Mirage, his decoy will automatically deploy to distract the enemy while you can try to sneak away cloaked. But you're still pretty easy to spot, so I wouldn't bet on it working out for you. Lastly, his ultimate deploys a bunch of decoys all around you and Mirage cloaks, allowing you to flank or try to escape. However, much like when you're downed, you're still easily visible and can very much be shot, so keep that in mind. And finally, we have Caustic, who is a bitch. So now you roughly understand all the legends, but where are you gonna drop? When you first load into the dropship, open up your map and see where you're coming from, and where the hot zone is. The hot zone is the blue circle on the map, which marks the location of a gold fully kitted weapon and other high tier loot. It's a good idea to hot drop pretty often and get into as many fights as you can so you can improve. Too many players just constantly land away from everyone and hide until the last team. Don't do that shit. I mean, occasionally it's fine because it is possible to sneak a win that way, but if you want to get better, you're going to have to die. A lot. And dying to the last team once every 20 minutes is not a quick way to improve, so just no-balls that shit and hot drop Skull Town. You can also try to land on the dropship that spawns if it's close enough on the map, and those have some pretty awesome loot. But be ready for an absolute flustercuck most of the time, and you might even want to grab the first loot you see and just bail. Also, when you're dropping, you don't have to stay right next to the jump master the entire way down. It's a good idea to break off towards the end and fly to a different building that's still close by. That way you're not fighting over loot and everyone can at least get a gun. Hopefully. This is still a battle royale after all, and RNG can be literally bullshit. And yeah, I actually used the word literally correct there because they changed the definition to literally not mean literally anymore, which is literally retarded. And now literally doesn't sound like a real word. Literally. Literally. So now that you've hit the ground, what should you look out for? The first thing you should understand is the level of rarity. Level 1 is your common items, which have a white or gray color. Level 2 is blue. Level 3 is purple, and gold or yellow is legendary, aka overpowered. Legendary gear comes with special bonuses on top of having the same quality as level 3. For example, gold body armor is 100 extra hit points, the same as purple, but also fully regenerates anytime you flex on your opponent with a finisher. A gold helmet will reduce the damage multiplier for headshots, as well as your ability and ultimate recharge time. The legendary knockdown shield will give you a 750 hit point shield to hold up when you're down, and allow you to revive yourself. And the gold backpack greatly increases carrying capacity and decreases the time it takes to heal by half. If you somehow manage to get all the legendary gear, you'd be a nightmare for even John Wick, but these items are incredibly rare and you'd be lucky to get even one. Guns don't scale with rarity, instead attachments do. Although some guns have a legendary version that comes with full gold attachments right out of the gate. Almost every gun is useful in this game, with the one exception being the Mozam weak shotgun. If you find this shit, you might just be better off with your fists. And in case you haven't already heard, the Wingman is the best gun in the game, if you can aim. But saying it's only good if you can aim is kind of ridiculous, because no gun is very good if you can't actually hit your shots in the first place. I think a lot of what makes this gun so incredible is having no reduced mobility while aiming down sights, so you can strafe left to right like a madman while doing 90 damage every headshot. Some other favorites include the R301 assault rifle, R99 SMG, Spitfire LMG, Hemlock AR, which is mostly used with single shot fire instead of burst, Peacekeeper shotgun, and the Prowler SMG is god tier if you could find a select fire to blast it at full auto. The Peacekeeper is one that I think the community is somewhat divided on because of its inconsistency. If you land all of your pellets on the enemy's head, you'll get a whopping 110 damage, but sometimes you'll hit what looks like right on target and hit for like 20 damage. The gun is even better with a precision choke, as this lets you hold down your aim down sights to tighten up the spread for more accurate shots. There are also 2 legendary weapons in the game which drop from crates, the Mastiff shotgun and Kraber sniper rifle. Both weapons have the potential to knock someone out in one shot if it's clean in the head, but their fire rates are pretty slow and the ammo they come with is the only ammo you get. But like I said, most of the guns are useful, so feel free to experiment and always be on the lookout for better attachments. Another great tool for dealing damage to opponents is Ordnance. Simply tossing some frag grenades into a building while someone is trying to revive can lead to an easy knock or at least decent damage. Thermite grenades are great for cutting off tight corridors or applying pressure, but by far the best ordnance is the Arc Star. Arc Stars are basically ninja stars that stick to players and objects and take about 3 seconds to explode. If you manage to hit someone with one of these though, it will completely eliminate their shield, no matter the rarity. Okay, I think I've covered just about everything I wanted to say for beginners. If I left something out, be sure to leave a comment below so we can help out all the noobs. In conclusion, play Wraith, use the wingman and don't miss your shots, and play as a goddamn team. The game has an excellent system for pinging enemy locations, movement, and more. There's an in-game chat system, as well as a push-to-talk, so you really have no excuse to not coordinate. Although, the voice chat is kind of ear rape, so maybe just stick with text-to-speech. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more Apex content, as well as Rainbow Six Siege, and some For Honor if you like dead games. I've been your host, Shmolty Hardwick, be kind to one another, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye!